All right, good morning traders and welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to go through the live order flow and looking at Bookmap, what can we learn, what can we read and understand from the participants in the auction, what's going on with the price action. Now this is a lot different than looking at your candlesticks and price action. I'm going to go into that in some depth today. So if you have any questions about that, please get them out. Or if you have another topic that you want to go through, we'll be happy to take a look. In the meantime, here are some of the special offers that we have. If you don't have Bookmap and you want to give it a try, this is the time. 50% off for 3 months of our Premier package of Global Plus. And 50% off of data for either NASDAQ or CME futures. It's up to you. So if you have your own data, well, then maybe this isn't the deal for you. Maybe you want to try something else. And luckily, you have this offer with the Cyber Monday. So you can get 60% off of the first month of Bookmap Global Plus for $39.60. This is a great deal, and try it out, see if you like it, and you can connect your own data. Now, if you need the data though, then I would go with the first offer here with the Black Friday special. Note that this will end December 6th, and they're overlapping right now, the Cyber Monday. So this ends December 12th. All right. So anyway, that's that. We have some news. Our beta programs, I talked about this yesterday. If you're interested in our new multi-account add-on, which I will demo for you guys again today, then just reach out to us at beta@bookmap.com and we'll connect it for you and you'll be up and running. Please note, this is only for Global Plus subscribers. So either of those deals from Black Friday or Cyber Monday will be for Global Plus. So it's up to you which deal you want, but then get access to this multi-account. So for example, what you can do here is trade one contract into maybe one of your proprietary services like either Top Step or Apex or Bullnox or all of the ones that are out there, and it will spin other orders. It'll copy them and then trade them into multiple accounts. So in fact, there's a multiplier as well. So if you take one contract in one account, you can make it 2 or 3 or 4 in another account. And you can add up to like 20 different accounts in there within that one service. Okay, so if you're interested in that, reach out to us, beta@bookmap.com. Let us know you're interested. You will need to have Global Plus though. There's also the Market Pulse multi-algo indicator you can get access to, and our technical analysis indicator package, which has RSI, MACD, all these legacy type of indicators. That it's funny, a lot of people have requested those over the years, and we always shied away from it because you can get those from anywhere. But now you can get them in Bookmap as well. And we also have this, I'll demo this as well, this Market Pulse web tool, which is fantastic. You can get free access to that. Again, all of it is free. You might, for this one, you need to have Bookmap Global Plus. Just email us at beta@bookmap.com and tell us what you're interested in. Thursdays, we have our Bookmap Academy meetings. If you want to join the Bookmap Academy, let me show you how. Go to bookmap.com and then go to the More button up here. And then under Community, you'll see Bookmap Academy here. And you can apply here and you can come to our meeting on Thursday. It's a coaching and mentoring program. Okay. You can get Bookmap for free along the way as well. All right, and then you did have access to the Market Pulse Pace of Tape, which I may demo today as well, but you do not any longer. You will have to get it from the marketplace. It ended November 3rd. Right, so anyone who recalls that, just wanted to mention it. All right, go through a couple disclosures and let's jump into the market. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, we got that out of the way. Let's jump into these markets. Let's see what's going on. We're looking at the S&P E-mini here. Yeah, no, I don't see much happening at all. Here's our 9:30 cash open, and it is just a slump. You can see the volume picked up, but it's just going nowhere in here. We have buyers, we have some sellers. You can look at the size of the dots, and this will tell you where the transactions are taking place. So sellers down here driving the market lower, and then we have some buyers coming back in, driving the market back up to the swings up here. So nothing shaking right now. High liquidity down here just below the figure of 60.50. So what does this mean in the bigger picture? Well, right now what it means is we are accepting above 60. I'm sorry, 60.50 in the S&P E-mini. And that's a pretty bullish sign. That's pretty good. Now let's just take a step back and let me see if anyone got back to me here. Anything that you want to take a look at? Global plus lifetime, there are no deals, Giovanni, on that. Stephen, you'd like to see how to incorporate candlesticks patterns with Bookmap? Absolutely. Perfect. That's what I wanted to cover. We can go over that. Let me look at, I haven't checked the chat with you guys over here on Discord. Good morning, Stephen, Rob, Shark, and Alan, and Alois. News at 10, okay. And the market back to being poop. Pretty much. That's what it looks like. All right. Yeah, all right. So yeah, let's take a look at this here. What I'm going to do is, you know, a lot of traders, and why we're going to cover this in here, is that a lot of traders that even, you know, some, you know, veteran traders to Bookmap, maybe they just get a little too confused by looking at all of the different data pieces in here, and they want to keep it simple. And we're going to do that today with candlestick patterns in candlestick price action in here. We're going to have to start with defining that, and then we're going to understand that kind of activity within Bookmap. Okay, and that's where you're going to make the bridge, the gap, bridge that gap, and understand more of really what's behind price action, and that is really important. If you can understand what's behind the price action, then we can look to see where price is more likely to go next. All right, so let's start off with candlestick chart. All right, now I've got 3 different candlestick charts here. As you guys know, this one over on the left hand side, this is the daily, in the middle is the hourly, and then on the right hand side is the 15-minute. And they're all for, well, except for the daily, these 2 are for the cash session only, so we can see the gap here to the downside. Filled a lot of that gap, and then you can see that we're still accepting lower right now. Well, that's kind of funny though, right? Just because we're accepting lower here, and that's kind of bearish right now looking at this. However, I said earlier, we're accepting above 60.50, and that's kind of bullish right now by looking at this in here. The big figures down here, all of the buyers, the liquidity, the limit buy orders, the passive buy orders are down here. This is where they're willing to deal. Just below the figure, okay, or the half figure, and you can see them down at 44 as well. Okay, so now we're going to look at this context between these passive buyers here on the bid at these lower levels here and the aggressors. Okay, the ones with market buy and sell orders, they move the price, and they're the ones that create the price action movement. Okay, so all right, let's before we jump into that, and maybe getting a little ahead of myself, let's take a look at the price action here on the S&P E-mini. Okay, let's look at the 15-minute chart. Looks like it's probably the best here. And we'll just kind of widen it out a little bit here. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about price action and define it, and then we're going to make the jump into the order flow. Price action means simply the movement of price. You know, traders are making decisions off of price action is what they call it, price action traders. What exactly, you know, how can you do that? And you're kind of making some really big leaps of faith in here by making that decision. And anyway, we'll get into those details in a minute. But here is pretty strong price action, okay, to the upside here. You can see the market opened, well, see the gap here. There's another gap in here. This is the 29th, so this was Friday. And then you can see that, well, you even have an engulfing candle here. All right, so this would be an outside bar, right, Alois? Just barely, but outside day, outside bar, whatever, engulfing bar. This price action from this period here of 15 minutes totally engulfed the prior 15 minutes. And typically that is bullish in this case here. And you can see that it was clearly. But it doesn't have to be. There's so many things that can happen instead. Maybe it's just going back and forth. Maybe you know, sellers come in and take it right back down the other way, or maybe it just chops in that area for a long time. It doesn't really matter. What we're trying to read and decipher from price action is who's leading this market, who's in control, and where is price going. You know, you can see that pretty strong buying. All right, well, where are they going with it? Well, look where the swing was, prior swing up here. Okay, it came up to there and it stalled. Okay, it stalled out for a little bit. You found people taking profit up here, or maybe sellers starting to get engaged up here. And then, you know, some back and forth for a little bit of period, and then we continue on up. Okay, so you're just reading the size of these candles, and also you'd be looking at and reading another piece of information in here is the slope. Like, this is pretty vertical here. Okay, this one starts to taper off now. Here, let me get the pen tool out. All right, so for example, this is pretty vertical. This starts to taper. Okay, now look at it. Now we're going sideways, and then you can see that not bad. I mean, in terms of the angle here, but now we can't even make higher highs, and then we do see one more push here in terms of, and the angle is pretty good. So there's still buying in here, but now we opened up below all of that price action here, and you can see that we are chopping around. Okay, now let's take a look at this and read this in here right now. This might be an interesting time. Look at the price action now. Okay, it tested up here, found sellers coming in, and we're finding more sellers. So where do you think we're going? I would say that we are going down to here. We're already there. Okay, well, let's see if we can go a little bit lower here, maybe down into these areas here. All right, so why we think that here? Any ideas in here? I know that this is pretty simple stuff, but what's behind it in here is what we're going to see and understand in much greater detail. So just Good morning, everybody. Brugesh. All right, so the this little cluster in here, and why we're looking for this to continue on down, and it happened really quickly. It's only a few points, I believe. Yeah, it's only a few points, but it happened pretty quickly. But that offers opportunities for pretty simple scalps. And this kind of understanding in here of what's going on within the price action, once extrapolated to the order flow, you can look at the same things on multiple time frames. In this time frame, we're looking at the 15-minute candlestick chart. Okay? And but you can look at it. It could be an hourly chart. It doesn't matter. It could be a daily or monthly, whatever. What we notice in here in this price action is there's back and forth in here. First off, we gap down. Secondly, it came back up, retested up here. The true gap fill would be up here. It just kind of filled in the gap in here, though, about half of it. And then you can see that sellers came in. Buyers came right back in, trying to lift it, and failed up here. They can't even make a higher high or an equal high. And then we see the next candle open up, and we see it, you see a little bit of a green candle here, and then it starts to come back down. At this point here, we're looking for it to break this little swing here from that last 15-minute period and retest the low here. And that's it for now. Okay, maybe it will go lower here, like that was our next hypothesis, that price would retest, the price action would retest back down here. Why would we think that? Okay, it's because we're looking at this in here and thinking, all right, well, we can't find buyers. We're starting to find sellers. They can likely slip below the swing here and retest some of the swings down here. Okay? And then we'll see if we find buyers down here. Right, so that's kind of a zone right now we're looking for. It's right around this. It's right where that liquidity is, and that's where we're going to make the bridge here between the candlestick chart here and then the order flow within the Bookmap chart. Okay, and liquidity you do not see on this chart whatsoever here on this candlestick chart. Okay, we already know that below the figure here there was a lot of liquidity in here. Okay, so below 50, 48, somewhere around 50 to 48. All right, so now what has happened here so far? Well, this is momentum here. This is a momentum move here so far from where we saw it, and then the break down to the bottom of the swing. Okay, now we're going to look for some profit taking down here, or maybe some buyers come in here as well. And that's why we're kind of seeing a bit of a stall right now. Okay? But I'm going to look for, again, sellers to come in and then come back down and retest these levels down here. Okay? Now, we don't know. We can't see what's inside this candle. This is where we're going to bridge that gap with Bookmap. Okay? So let's jump over to Bookmap, and I'm going to take the stops and icebergs off for the chart for just a minute here. And then we're going to look more at the kind of purity of it, and then we'll go into stops and icebergs as well. Okay, here's the move that we saw, and here's the swing that we saw here. Okay, so this was that choppy action here that relates to this candle here. In fact, we can turn this into a 15-minute candle chart. Right, there we go. Okay, it's at 5 minutes. Let's go to 15. Okay, so here's that candle right here. Okay, and we were starting to see it retest this area, so we're looking for the momentum to break and then retest the swing down here, and we got it. Okay, now this is the chop that we've been seeing so far. I'm still looking for sellers. In fact, we can even take a position on that. Let's do that, and I can demo the multi-account for you guys as well. Okay, now I'm going to take a position in here, but this is not a trade recommendation. Here's the multi-account trading. This is what you need. You can see it pops up here, and I'm going to select the one that I made yesterday for 1 lot, 2 lot, and 4 lot. We'll go over the details in a minute here. Now I need to turn on the trade control panel, and we'll select our 1 lot here. Okay. We're just going to jump right in there. Okay, we're selling the low of the day. Okay, or the cash session. It is for the day as well. Now I'm just looking for this move into this liquidity down here. That's it. That's all I'm looking for right now. Okay, and I'm looking for it because we had this move chopped around and we're still finding sellers. So I'm looking for the continuation of this move for these sellers to meet the buyers down here on the bid and the transaction to take place in here. Okay, so that's it. And now we can even we might get a bit of a pullback here. I mean, you can see that I'm gonna stick with it here. You can see they're starting to pull more and more liquidity as this goes lower, but this is what's going to happen. We're going to find a bit of a pullback like this. Okay, so if you're looking for a scalp, then you might consider taking your profit in these little areas in here, or maybe just taking a little bit off if you have multiple contracts on. Okay, because now we've got to sit through this. And we have the possibility of getting stopped out now too. Okay, so we might be finding buyers in here. I'm going to stick with it because let's go back to our price action in here. Okay, well, we noted that, okay, we're looking for it to trade back down into these lower levels in here, right? That's true, and we just did. However, yeah, it would have been good to take a little bit of profit, maybe around here, maybe about 49.50 or 49.75 or so. And the reason being is that here's the swing low here. We already tested that, okay, and that's why we're getting a bounce in here. Okay, so and now we immediately went into profit here. More or less. I think it went against us 1 tick. Yeah, it went against us 1 tick. And then we just rode the momentum down here. All right, so now, still bearish here. But we could have avoided that pullback because we started to trade into some of these areas of liquidity here. They were pulling, so that's why I kind of kept it. A lot of times, I like to get out right around these areas in here. That 49.50 or it would have been somewhere around in here, right? And we would have gotten filled on that, and our scalp would be over. But we wouldn't have to deal with the pullback here, right? Okay, so now getting interesting here. Now, yeah, we're still seeing the price action go lower. Okay, actually, I'm gonna move my take profit down because if this is the pullback that we got, and we're still finding sellers here. Here's our cluster of selling here. Now, a little bit of buying starting to come in, but I am still bearish in here. I'm still seeing more momentum to the downside now. Okay, so I'm going to hold off and move my take profit down a little bit lower, and thinking that we are going to break this swing here, and maybe get a nice little stop run, maybe down to about here, 46.50 or so. Okay, so in fact, if that is the case, 46.50, that would be down here below that liquidity here, this high liquidity. Well, I don't like that idea. I'm going to stay just at the top of this high liquidity right here at 47.75. Why not front run the liquidity? I always do. I almost always do. Alan, as you know. That's one of my favorite things to do. And get out, don't have to put up with the heat going against you. In fact, like even offers the flexibility at that point to add in after you've taken some off, add back in, and then look for a continuation. I know that's one of my commandments basically. So and again, right now, I'm still looking for, there's still momentum, more momentum to the downside, but look how we're kind of going sideways here now. All right, is this making sense to you guys over on YouTube? And let's see, Lucas is actually asking about the multi-algo order size tracker MBO bundle. Okay, well, so the multi-algo is something a little bit different from Market Pulse. The MBO bundle, what you're talking about here is something with the stops and icebergs, liquidity tracker, and this Trader Map Pro. We're actually using Trader Map Lite on this chart here. Okay, so that's what you get with the MBO bundle. All right, so now let's just go back and let's bridge this gap again. Okay, so we saw the break happen up here, and we were a little late to the party because we're looking at the candlestick chart, and we were not prepared for this. And we're looking for the move to here. It did it. It kind of chopped around for a little bit, and then we're looking for the move back down into these swings here, and now it's done it. Okay, and we can see some buying starting to come in, profit taking or finding buyers at some of these levels in here. Okay, so now what can we do? Well, I mean, basically what we can do is just manage the risk at this point. So are we going to see this continuation of the momentum, or are we going to find a ton of buyers starting to come back in thinking this is a deal, and now it's going to go against us? Okay, so here's the risk that we're taking right now. Here come some of these buyers. Now, is it enough? I don't know. We can look at the relative volume in here and look at, in fact, let's just take this, bring it up a little bit higher, and we'll zoom out a little bit. Okay, I'm still seeing more sellers coming in. And I see the green dots. I know that buyers are starting to come in too. And we may come back up into where we dropped from up in here. Or maybe it's a mean reversion trade back up into this value area up here of transactions up in here. Right? We don't know. And this is the risk that we're taking. Okay, and but this right in here, or where we even said over here, there's always risk. You cannot avoid it. However, it's muted risk. We're looking for this. We're looking for this price action, and we're looking for the retest or a test into this liquidity down here. Okay, so that's where we can have the probabilities in our favor. And now this is something that you can't take my word for it. You got to go back and you've got to do the due diligence yourself, right? And take a look. Go through, if that's the idea in here about, we're making lower highs in here, we can't find buyers, we gap down lower, buyers can't seem to manage working its way up, and then we see this candle here, and then we're starting to break it. Look at it. We go back even in the price action in here on this 15-minute chart, and you're going to see the same things. Here's another one right here, right? Here's some back and forth, and here's the break. Okay, and that was a nice move. We can look at it to the upside as well, and start to look for, where there's kind of a candle. We don't see like the greatest example. Maybe something like this in here, and then it broke out, right above it here. It kind of ended green, and then you can see it continued here. So we're looking for continuation and momentum up into these areas here. It did it and then some. Okay, and then it pulled back. Look where the pullback came to as well. Came all the way back to where it broke out from in this little area in here. So what you've kind of identified in here is potentially where the buyers came in and moved this market higher. And now look how it's moving against us now, right? So, you know, and we're just about to get stopped out. Okay. So now this is, it's fine. You know, if we get stopped out, again, this is a demo trade to show you guys like this concept in here, and then what we're looking for in the order flow. And this is a good example here of how we started to note it. We noted this little move here, but we go, no, you know, I'm still looking for it to break. And I'm still looking for this liquidity to trade down here. And then we noted this buying in here. We're like, uh-oh, this is not good. You know, now we might find the buyers and come back up to where it dropped from in these areas and retest. And we almost got stopped out. Just looks like no transactions maybe happened right at, yeah, so the best offer was up here, but it never transacted there. That's why we didn't get stopped out. Okay, so we got really lucky on that. Now, what does it look like now? Are we going to find buyers down here at this area where they started to come back in? I would imagine we'll find some. But now we're going to start to look more deeper into the order flow here, though. Okay, we can look at the candles as well, yeah, let's continue on with that candlestick analysis in here. Okay, our 15-minute closed down low like this. So this is a retest of the candle of this big red candle. All right, so you Fibonacci guys, here we can look at something in here. Okay, so here's our whole candle, including the wick. Okay, in fact, I may move my stop up just a little bit just to demo the point here. Here's the 50% line. So it probably went up to your 61.8, right? And then you can see what happened in here. This is why, you know, starting to understand retracements back into big candles can be a really, this is another thing that you might want to investigate and put this into a trading strategy. All right, so so for example, if I look at this entire wick here, I mean entire candle including the wick, this is the 50% line right here, okay, just above it, and then look at this high liquidity that came in up here, okay, at this 55 area. Okay, so so we found some sellers up in here, and we don't find too many interested buyers at that point to want to tangle with these sellers up here. So in fact, let's just do this. Now we're likely get stopped out, but I'm just going to move my stop up above this 55 liquidity. Okay, and what I'm doing here in moving and managing my stop in this way is I am placing it behind not only the high liquidity, but like your 61.8 retracement back here, like on a fib level. Okay, or back into, let's say, half of that candle or whatever. And then now we're still bearish though, and we're still looking for the continuation to the downside. All right. All right, so there's the idea from taking, again, candles and pure price action of the candles into the order flow in Bookmap, and then using also not only the order flow here as targets, but also as to protect our stops in here. Now we got lucky, and I'm glad we're still in this, so that I can put my stop back up here and demo that. All right, guys. Any questions? Let's see. Lucas about the MB. Okay, so the MBO bundle, yeah, you can get the MBO bundle from the Bookmap marketplace. Okay, I can show you that. But now see how, like, this went against us and all these other things, and, like, et cetera, et cetera. But this is how you can start to put together a trading plan for yourself. And it just is a starting point for you to go and make it work for you. If this is like something, if you like to look at Fibonacci levels or retracements, take a look at this as well. These are other ideas, and this is where the more and more you start to look into the order flow, more and more you're going to really learn. I feel you're going to learn a lot more about these markets and how they work, because is it the retracement here, or is it this little ledge right here, this little swing here, and we kind of go above it, maybe hit some stops, test above here, and we don't find any buyers. I don't think it's the fib. I think it's this. Okay, even here, you can probably find a fib level here is 78.6, or I don't know, whatever it might be, up here. Okay, there's going to be a fib level somewhere along the line. However, this is where the sellers came in. Okay, and we didn't find enough buyers to test up into this area here. Or that might be your mean reversion trade back to the point of control, and it just can't get above it. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Start to look at where some of these moves take place in the price action, and I think you'll gain a lot from it. You'll start to understand, well, yeah, okay, it might be a fib level, but I also see the swing here, and I can understand this relationship and context in the price structure of the price action. All right, so we're still in it, looking for this test into the 48 liquidity down here. And maybe it'll break. Maybe it'll break down into 44. All right, so let's take a look. Let's go back and look at the price action here. So here's our buyers. They are only able to retrace, like we had mentioned. We're starting to still see a little bit of buying action, a little bit of a bounce here. We did not find enough to take it much further than this so far. So looking at this in here, I'm still looking for retest back down at this low and maybe a break of it. In fact, if we do get something like that, it could be a really nice day. Might be able to break down to here, 42, or even here, like where it broke out from down here at 22. Or what is that, 33? Yeah, it's 33. Okay, so now how do we handle that? Well, we don't know, right? We just know that there's high liquidity here, and we're right kind of on top of it, a little bit in front of it. However, maybe we find enough sellers interested in trading into this high liquidity and then some. Maybe there's even more aggressive sellers than there are passive buyers here. If that is the case, we're not prepared for that. Okay, so we're going to move. Let's just move our take profit down more. Okay, we said 33, right? Well, it's way down here. And I don't even see any liquidity in there, or not much. Down here. Okay, so let's just move it away and let's see. Okay, so now we only have one contract on, and we're looking for perhaps this develops into a bigger move. Now we're prepared for it though. Okay, so here come the sellers. In fact, let's actually do this. I'm going to take another shot at it here. Okay, and I'm going to then put my take profit here. Okay, so now I have two contracts on. I just scaled in, and I move my take profit for the first one, the second one, back to where my first target was. Okay, so I'm just looking for the move down into here. Okay, because I'm seeing more sellers, more momentum here. Okay, and then that'll give me more flexibility at that point. Okay, I just added more risk though too. And my take profit was, or my entry was where? Up here, and it just moved down a couple ticks here. Okay, so now I'm adding more risk. Okay, no question about that. Okay, but I'm looking for still more momentum. I'm still seeing more sellers, so I'm looking for more sellers to break the price level here and trade into this high liquidity down here. Again, guys, this is only a demo. It does say real trading mode down here, but it is in a demo account. It's paper trading account in Rhythmic. In fact, let's take a look at our positions in here in the multi-account beta that we have here. Here are our 3 orders, right? Because we have 1 lot from our 60 account here. We have a 2 lot. Boy, happened here. No, I'm sorry. We have 2 lots in our 60 account. We have 4 lots, double the amount here in our 60.1 account. In our 60.2 account, we have 8 lots altogether. So this is the multi-account. It's replicating those in orders into other accounts. And then here are all my take profits and stop losses. Okay, so for each one here. So for my 60 account, I have 2 buys. I also have 2 buys down here, which are stop and a limit, and a stop and a limit up here. So here's my 60, here's my 60.1, and here's my 60.2. Okay, you can cancel any one of these or all of them. You can use these buttons in here if you like, etc. All right, so that's how you use it. It's really straightforward, guys. I really encourage you try this out and see how you like it, especially if you're trading, the prop firms. That's what it's for. Okay, so let's see now. Are we gonna trade into our level here, or are we gonna find buyers just in front of it here taking profit? Okay, so far we're finding some buyers. Okay, and sellers starting to come back in now. Are buyers going to support it here? Okay, now this is support. It's not demand. Because the demand is actually down here, or maybe the aggressors come in with some demand, the green dots, and they overwhelm the aggressive sellers and they move price higher. But right now we're just kind of going flopping around here back and forth. Okay, starting to find some buyers in here. Okay, trying to finding maybe they have a deal here and they're looking for maybe a mean reversion trade back up into these areas here. It looks pretty good actually. Now we're starting to find that demand, okay, from the aggressors here. Let's take a look at our candlestick chart again. Now, what am I going to do here with my stops? I think I'm going to move this back up. This is a new trade here that I took here, just looking for that momentum move into our take profit here. I'm going to move this back up to where my original stop was, though, back up above the swing here. Okay, so Boy, I don't even like that too much. I would rather have it back up above the swing up here, to be honest, but maybe that's a little too much risk. We're just going to go with that 68, 68 point. Oh God, I even forget my fib levels. 61.8 level up here, somewhere around there. No, 68.2. That's what it is, right? You guys, I don't know. I kind of forget. I really I followed fibs years ago. 61.8. Okay, thank you, Stephen. Yeah, and I just you're gonna hit one of those levels one way or another, and I just started looking at the swings and where those buyers and sellers came in, and it just made so much more sense to me. But if you trade fibs and that's what you like, hey, go for it. All I know is there's not a lot of traders out there looking at fibs and making decisions off of them. Anchored VWAP, highs of day, lows of day, those kinds of things. There's a lot of traders looking at those. Thank you, Stephen. You got them all there. Okay. 78.6, 88.6, 127. Yeah, I really like the 127.2. Yeah, the 50, 61.8, and the 1618, the golden ratio there. All right, so now we're back down here again, right? So it's flopping around in here, but we're still sticking with our plan. Now we're below these buyers in here, or this candle here, so looking pretty good. Based off of the price action in the candle, I'm looking for the sellers to come in here and squeeze. In fact, maybe we can even go lower with our take profit, right? There, it already hit and already filled. Okay, so that's fine. We probably could have gone, even lower down here, maybe this 46 area or so, but that's fine. We've taken some off. We've managed some risk, and we're still actually we're still taking quite a bit of risk here because we're looking for a bigger move to unfold. And we don't know. I mean, do we really see the price action telling us that that's what's going to happen here? I don't. It's not bad actually. I have to say, like if we look at it here, here's that big shift candle below these areas in here. This is that what we kind of talked about a little bit yesterday in terms of like toxic order flow, and what that means is all of the price action up in here, someone comes in and moves it away, or maybe many people, or stops also. Whatever it is, like it moves away pretty dramatically here. This is where control has been taken from the buyers to the sell side here. Okay, in this move in here, right? So that's undeniable. Okay, you can see the control. Right, and then here's the best that the buyers could muster at this point. Now, if we get stopped out up here, we're going to have an overall loss, even though we took some off, right? So how do we want to? In fact, let's we can add the break even in here. Theoretical average, there it is. Okay, so here is actually my break even right here, 52.5. Actually 52.75 or so. Okay. So if you're interested in that and you really want to protect yourself, like that's what you do. But break even or no break even, I would go with the price action and the market structure and the order flow here. That rules the game here. Knowing where your theoretical break even is does not matter at all. Okay, and it just happens to be above the swing here, so we can get some arbitrary price action to come up here, knock us out, and then look for that bigger move to unfold like we were earlier anyway. Right, so anyway, let's move that down to 33 here, somewhere around here. And that was the bigger move that we're looking for. Okay, let me see if there's any questions over here. Yep, thank you, Alois. So regarding Forex, we do not connect to spot Forex markets. It is not a centralized exchange. There's no centralized order book. Even volume is just between the different over-the-counter banks or whatever. So it doesn't really work too well in Bookmap. However, the currency futures from the CME work great. So you can look at the, like Alois is saying here, the 6E, which would be the euro dollar, or the 6B would be the British pound. Okay, and in fact, it's a great way. I think I've got the euro dollar up. Yeah, I do. And look at how different this trades here. And this is correct. Bookmap is showing correctly what this liquidity looks like in here. Okay, and you can see if we zoom in here, you can see the behavior, and these are larger players in here. Okay, here at this 105.16, and then up here at this 105.18. You can see that every 2 points here, or every two pips, you see the larger players in here kind of layering in these areas here. That's what's happening. Okay, this is larger player liquidity, and spreading it out over these kind of two pip areas or tick areas, not 2 point areas. Okay, so yeah, and that's what we see in here. So same ideas though that we'd be looking at like we were for the S&P. Okay, and you can gain a lot of insight from these charts in here if you want to go and then trade the spot Forex. In fact, let's take a look at this here. We're seeing a little bit of euro strength coming in right now after 10:30. Okay, so euro strength, that means dollar weakness here is what it means. Well, usually in the S&P, that's going to mean that there's going to be, it's risk on, and we'll see the stock indexes go up. Okay, so in fact, at this point, let's just flatten this. All right, because we have a correlation in here. So we took some off, and then this went against us here, and this was our overall break even. So we only made a couple of ticks out of that, out of all that price action in here, right? But it wasn't about making a huge profit or a huge loss. It was about going through different scenarios and management and order flow, entries, exits, and making that kind of bridge between the candlesticks and the liquidity and the transactions. Okay, so basically break even is what has happened here for us. Okay, but there's a lot of good things along the way. Okay? And if you're looking at your correlations in here as one of the elements that you want to bring into your analysis, well, then you would have been out probably earlier in that S&P, and you would have made a little bit more, and you would have also shed a little bit of that risk. Down to 105, guys. Wow. That's a lot of dollar strength. Getting down to parity again. you know, politics aside, I mean, the market is telling us a lot of what they kind of think of. Oh, I don't know, maybe it's about trade tariffs, or maybe it's about geopolitical stuff that's happening out there, or maybe it's about the non-farm that's coming up on Friday. But you know, this is also bonds, another thing to take a look at if you want to bring that kind of analysis within your trading. But we can save that for another day. Let's just continue to go through the candlesticks and price action in candlesticks, and then make that relationship with order flow and what we're seeing in liquidity and transactions in Bookmap. Okay, so we made a good decision there. Okay, based off of a correlation, and look where we took our profit. We were even thinking of, I was thinking of moving it down even a little bit more here, but we didn't, or we got filled before moving it, and in the end, that was a good decision as well. So look, kind of lucky today. Also didn't get stopped out up here. That was luck. But that was great though. It set us up for understanding retracements, maybe Fibonacci levels, and then liquidity levels and swings as well. Relate those to your fib levels, and you've really got something. So Alan, here's your mean reversion trade. Back up into these areas here. Let's see here, guys. After I haven't followed up here in Discord. If any of you over in YouTube, you want to get further into it here at Bookmap, we've got a great community over on our Discord channel. I really encourage you to come over to our Discord channel, ask questions over here, join the Bookmap Academy. It's free. It's a coaching and mentoring program. Right? So, you guys create content, and then we will give you feedback on that content. And on Thursdays, we will open the mic for you as well, and let you explain what you were looking at and what you did, and we'll give you our input. Okay, let's see here. Lucas, let me show you where you can get that MBO bundle. Okay, so go to bookmap.com. Okay, and then go to the More button here, and then see the marketplace here. You can see it says add-ons, market data, courses, and MBO bundle. Click on MBO bundle, and that should take you right to it here. It does, and you can add it to the cart here. And this is what you get with it. Now, it's pretty costly here, but you get a lot out of it though. You're going to get, let's see here, the stops and icebergs, which we haven't even gone over really today. The on chart and sub chart. Okay, there's two indicators here. Both are very powerful. And then we have a Liquidity Tracker Pro, which we haven't covered in quite a while. And this new Trader Map Pro with a new bot remover in there as well. We have been covering that quite a bit. Okay, we've been also demoing the Trader Map Lite, which is free, which is kind of a watered down version of the Trader Map Pro. Now, in addition to that, you're also getting this whole bundle of market pulse indicators, which we haven't even covered today. Okay, maybe we will. We'll go over that. Thanks, Mr. No Luck. Yeah, I love the Bookmap community and staff. Yeah, we've got a great community. It's really a joy compared to the value you get out of Bookmap. It's well worth the price. It's really great to hear. Yeah, I mean, I think so too. Like, if you combine a great community with a really insightful and solid product, you got something. You know, and you've got you've got the Ferrari here, and you've got the some of the best drivers, which would be the community and you guys. Okay, so it's yeah, and you need both. You really do. I feel. The old webinars there twice a day, 5 days a week. I was the only person doing webinars back then, um, Alan. And then since then, what I think we brought on, what was the history? I think we brought on Scott and Jay Trader first, maybe Scott first, and then Jay Trader, and then we had a Bookmap Academy years ago, but it wasn't like what we have now. And Doug Pless and Tom B were part of that Bookmap Academy, and now both of them are streaming for us. And anyway, it was a funny history. What was it? Tom came into. We opened up our Bookmap Discord community, and Tom jumped in and immediately started to help people, and just banging on the keyboard. He just wrote paragraphs after paragraphs, and I mean, I'd look at it and it just hurt. By looking at it, I could just feel his fingers. It was just like, oh God, let's give this guy a room. Let's give him so he can talk about it, and instead of having to write about it all the time. So anyway, so now, as you guys know, we have streamers all day long. We can go here to here, I'll show you. Just go to bookmap.com again, click on education up here, and that'll take you into our learning center, and we have some courses in here, and then these are all the streamers we have in here. Okay, we actually had quite a few more not too long ago. We've kind of whittled it down, or we had an Indian, we had like 4 or 5 Indian streamers as well, but we're not supporting the Indian markets any longer, so we don't have any streamers either. So here's our calendar, events calendar down here, and you can see that for most of the day, every day, here 9 a.m. you can see it's pretty booked in until about 2 p.m. and then here's our Bookmap Academy Thursdays at 4 at market close. These are all East Coast time, at least for me. I think it goes off of your computer clock, so you'll see it for your time wherever you are. All right. Glad you found us, Pete. Yeah, glad we found you. Hey, I mean, a lot of the mentioned it many times. I mean, it's really nice to hear, things like that, Pete. But you guys made it. You know, um, we were here to try to assist and help out and offer as much value as we can. But you guys came in with uh, and filled it in basically. I can't sing, Alan. I'm really bad. Lonely out here. Yeah, it's a lonely profession. It is, and that's why having a good community is really important. All right, guys. Well, let's see what's happening here. Well, let's take a look at the price action again, and wondering if this, what is this here? Here's a big green candle, right? And we see it. This one was kind of green here, and then it broke the swing here, and then we see the buyers come in, and then back up again here above it, buyers. Okay, so this is bullish here. So is this going to turn into like a flag pattern? Okay, so we'd be looking for this is our kind of impulse move here. This is the chop or the pullback, and then we look for buyers right around in here to try to take it higher, and then at least up to the swing here, and maybe up to the swing up here around 60. That looks about right to complete the pattern. Impulse move, your pullback, and then impulse move. I do not see anything in the order flow to support that right now, except this impulse move here. I do like the impulse move. In fact, here's a flag pattern right in here out of it. Impulse move, a very slight pullback, and impulse move. Okay, that is completed. It maybe just turns into a bigger one. Right, and I mean, yeah, okay, a little bit of exhaustion here, some buyers here. Maybe it just comes up to the top of the range though. Right. Now, this again, like maybe we can look at smaller time frames for the candlesticks, but I don't want to be a buyer up here. Right, I will look for a pullback, and within this range here. If I know that there's more buyers here, maybe I'd be looking for becoming a buyer in here or here, having it bounce off the top of the range. We know what happened. We know the sellers came in and traded back down here now. Okay, but we can go through another scenario in here. Okay, now we'd look for, this is the pullback to the top of the candle here. What about a pullback within that candle? Where might it go? Well, again, retracements. Let's just take a look at it. I'm just kind of curious myself. And that would be somewhere around here. And that does kind of align with where those buyers came in. Well, let's mark it up. We'll put in a horizontal line right there. Okay, around 60, 50 and a half. Okay, or is it going to bounce off the top of this candle here? Okay, now this is where we can look at what's inside the candles, and right now I'm just not seeing a whole lot inside of it, to be very honest. Like where's the liquidity? Well, it's not a whole lot, but it's down here at 52. Okay, it's back into that candle, a retracement back into that candle. So now, and what about where's the offer? Well, look how dark it is in here. There's not a whole lot of liquidity in here. And they're kind of up here around 57 or so. So here come our sellers into that liquidity here. And let's take a look here. So now if we're looking for a bullish move here, I'm not interested in buying down here. Okay. Maybe you are. If that's in your plan, then go for it. But this is not something I'm looking for. I'm looking for buyers up here now to pull away from this area. Okay, that's the pullback. But I need confirmation in here. And right up here, I do not see any buyers, or very, very little up here. Right? If I get enough up here, I'm thinking it's more likely we will retest these highs up here and maybe get the continuation move that we're looking for. Okay, so let's see, do we get those buyers? Yeah, I'm starting to see a little bit more. Okay, now we're back to sellers. Okay, in fact, more sellers. Donaldo, can we see Trader Map Lite and their different versions? Sure. Yep. So there's 3 different. Trader Map Lite has 3 different settings, and we can take a look at them. Okay. Before I do that, let's take a quick look at our price action candles in here. Okay. So again, remember how we talked about this move in here, and sellers being in control, right? Well, all we have done is retested back here to basically where those sellers came in, we think. At least it looks like it on the candlestick chart. So sellers still in control of this market. All right, let's take a look at Bookmap now. Okay, this is where we said the sellers came in. Yeah, it was right in here. But if we zoom out a little bit more, it's actually up in here. You can see this is really well. I just don't have a whole lot of data in here. I can add a little bit more in. No, I cannot. I can look at this one though and add in more. Let's just go back to Map Lite. So in here, right? So or yeah, here it is. This one's very, very clear. So this is where they came in and dropped. This is where sellers came in and dropped from here. There's also another one up here. All right, Donaldo, let's take a look here. Map Lite, different versions. Okay, here you can see I'm on the low sensitivity filter. Go with high sensitivity, or you can go with standard. So this is low sensitivity. Okay, so it's not very sensitive to it. High sensitivity, let's take a look. All right, well, let's now, it jumped over here to the 6Z chart. So, and then here's my Trader Map Lite over here. It kind of popped out into the front. Okay, so let's go back here as it repopulates. We'll take a look. Okay, how's everyone on Discord over here? Repeat. Yeah, TB power down in CR, so no stream today. Very cryptic repeat, but so Tom B is in Costa Rica and his power is down. So no stream today. Yeah, well, we're gonna end no matter what though. We're gonna end in about 10 minutes here. Okay, so now it's repopulated in here with the high sensitivity filter. Okay, so you can see a little more action in here that that was filtered out before. This kind of action in here. And look how we have a spread in here now too. So I'm sorry, high sensitivity means it's going to filter out more, and that's why we're seeing a big spread in here, right here. Right, this is incorrect. I mean, this is because it's Trader Map Pro or Trader Map Lite, and it's being more sensitive and or highly sensitive here. So you know, price action, the last trade is here, but you can see this is the best bid and the best offer in this version of Bookmap Trader Map Lite. Okay, so you might like this version or this setting, then go for it. Or there's also another one in between. That's the standard here. Okay, kind of in between the two. And let's wait for that to repopulate here, and then we'll take a look. In the meantime, let's jump over to that 6E. Yeah, so here's the see how price move. Look, I mean, we're not making this stuff up. I mean, fib level or not fib level doesn't matter. This is where price we know is data too. I mean, you can see at 10 o'clock, and you can see this drop of liquidity in this little zone in here. However, that's where it came back and retested, and that's where it dropped from originally here as well. And now we're seeing the move back up again. So, at least this euro dollar is telling us that we're finding buyers in this zone now too, not just sellers. We're finding buyers move it back up. Okay, so let's take a look at our Radar Map Lite standard version here. It's still updating. Okay, the spread looks good though. Well, candlestick wise, I mean, look at the okay, we know sellers in control from this move on down. But here are some buyers. Okay, retracement comes back down, closes, but they break out from that little close here, and then they're breaking out in here as well. Okay, so now if we get enough buyers up here at this swing here on the candle, we should come up to our 60-60 level up here. So that would be our flag continuation pattern up into about 60-60. Makes sense? Makes sense, guys? Okay, and there you go, Donaldo. Donaldo is free, so you know you can just go and add this yourself to it. Let's go to add-ons manager in here and then scroll down a little bit more, you know, manage your add-ons here, and then you'll need to scroll down to the bottom and you'll see what's available for install in here. I think I've got the RSI up. Yeah, I've got the RSI up here in the subchart. Yeah, I mean, like candlestick wise and some of the order flow, not a whole lot, you know, we can take a shot at it. And you know, this is, I do not think this is a good trade, but you know, just look for it here. Here's what I'm looking at here. We know that buyers here broke out, buyers up here, sellers bring it right back down, but buyers come back in again. Okay, so I'm looking for buyers to take it back up to the swing here. Right now, I don't know, and I don't have a whole lot else besides that candlestick and these little dots in here. The liquidity's down here. You know, we're close to our European close. I do not think this is high probability setup. Okay, but the idea is the same. We're looking for taking it back up to top of the range or this liquidity up here, and we put our horizontal line up there as well. So we can move our take profit down into that area there. And we're looking for the follow through. And I'll just move my stop up just a little bit here. And then now this is based off of the candlesticks in here. Okay, so you can see the 15-minute candlestick here ended up green. We're back up above it here. All right. Well, then why can't it come back up to this 57 area up here? 56, 57. Okay. Now, this will also demo in here because it's not a very high probability setup. We don't have a lot of pieces here, but it's a good demo of that, I feel. Because where do we really want to be a buyer? Well, down here, down where there's demand here. These are where the buyers are. So I'm kind of like hoping that we're just because of candlesticks and these buyers in here, that I'm looking for the momentum to continue on the buy side, just up to the top of the swing. Okay, this though is less probable. And what if we had the book like this high liquidity here at multiple levels underneath here? Maybe they start to pull some of that liquidity up in here, and in the same moment we do get these green dots. Well, then it's much more probable that we're going to trade back up into here. Okay, so be picky with your trades as well. I think that you know, you want to take your best trades here. Now we got filled. Okay, great. You know, it worked out based off of some candles and some dots in here, the aggressors, and we traded into that high liquidity here around 57. We were just looking for the move to the swing here. But why would, you know, if you really go back and take a look at some of these ideas in here, and it doesn't take much. You can build your trading plan out from some of these ideas. At least it's a starting point. And would you want to take something like this? Is it worth it? You have to answer that question yourself. All right. So let's see now. Let's go back to our candles. All right. So it's done the move. And now maybe we're getting kind of a reversal. Maybe we're looking for trading back up into, like, you know, maybe it turns into a pattern up in here, and some of these wicks up in here, and some of these previous up in here. For your volume profile guys, you know, on your higher time frame profiles, you know that this is going to be a you know, a value area over multiple days here. Yeah, back even to the 29th here, November. So yeah, you know, you'd kind of look for price to explore back up into these areas up in here. That would be the concept. So that's back to the 60-60 or 60-61 area up here. Okay. All right, so there we go. Price action on candles, and then seeing what's inside those candles in terms of volume, where that volume is trading, and also understanding the supply and demand by the passive orders in some of these areas in here. All right, guys, so yeah, looking pretty good. Let's see if the buyers can continue back up into 60-60 or 60-61. Okay, pretty good momentum here so far. Right, and that will complete that flag pattern that we were kind of looking for earlier, as impulse move, pull back, impulse move. All right. All right, guys. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks for coming. Please hit the like button. You know, subscribe to the channel. Better yet, come over to our community here at Discord. It's free. You know, you'll find the link right off of the homepage, I think, on Bookmap. I believe it will kind of pop up on the top there. If you don't see it, like mine, I don't see it here. You can just click on the more button, and then you can go to chat room here, Discord. Okay, under community, and that'll take you to it. Okay. Another thing, if you are interested in trying Bookmap, well, this is the time. Here's our Black Friday sale, and it's a good deal. It's 50% off of Global Plus for 3 months, and that'll give you a nice chunk of time to come to the community, get you know, answer question, get your questions answered, partake in the community, and learn about order flow and Bookmap, and ask questions. Also during these webinars, join the academy as well, and become part of the community, and you're on your way. You know, you also get data with this Black Friday deal. If you don't already have it, it ends December 6th. If you already have data, then go with the Cyber Monday deal here. Okay, it's 60% off for the first month only, though. 39 bucks. I mean, heck, you're going to get all the community, order flow, Global Plus for 39 bucks for a month. You know, if you really want to kick the tires, this is the easiest route here. Okay? And this deal ends December 12th. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. And we will see you on Friday for the next All Markets webinar. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.